Hello guys, today we're going to be using the new Object.groupBy method just to see how you can, we're going to be making a comparison between the old way, just using some old method from JavaScript, from the array class, and then with the new, with the Object.groupBy. So to do so, I have created for you is a new repository name. You know how much I love that, quite descriptive. Repo names. So at first glance, you can check it and know what's going to be included inside. So it's called grouping array items comparison, because as I told you, we're going to compare the old and new ways of grouping array items by a given property. So we're going to be using some just locally, because you can do it on the terminal, just using the developer tools, but here we will have IntelliSense, the dark mode, and some other stuff. What I'm pretty sure that in your projects, you have once in a while have to deal with an array of items. I mean, item is object with several properties, and suppose you have to group them by a given property. So from here, after checking all the description, every time we have to check or learn something about JavaScript, as I told you, I highly recommend to use MTN because it's coming from the author of JavaScript, from Brendan Eich, and he's the CEO of Mozilla. So the Mozilla Developer Network is really trusty. And then suppose example, I'm going to take this inventory. You can see we have asparagus, bananas, goat, cherries, fish, and then we have type. So we have meat, fruit, and vegetables. So we're going to copy this one. We're going to go to JS Fiddle. I have extended the JS section and the results because we're not going to use any CSS and any HTML at all. And we're going to be comparing both. So we're going to paste it, the inventory, perfect. And now we're going to do how we used to do it, or one way to do it in the old way. If we have an array of things and we want to simplify, a reduce result that is only one thing, you can infer from there that we're going to be using reduce method from arrays, because we go from an array of things into one simple or single result. So to check comparison as well, you will see how much I love it, because it's not only that Object.groupBy is less verbose, as you will see in a moment, but it's way more performant. So how to check that one? We're going to be using console.time, and it's really good. You can see we have IntelliSense there. And if you use the label here, you can check from this line to this line how much time it takes to be processed. So we're going to call this old, because let me make it bigger. That is the old way. Then we will put all the code we want, and then with time n, console.time n, and it should be exactly the same name, matching all with all. And then, of course, we will have the new, and you will see how straightforward it is after that one. So this will be old, and this will be from old to new. So as we said, we're going to here go into the, and we're going to call it const old way grouped, something like that, because here we will do it inventory, which is this variable here, and we're going to use reduce method. You know that the reduce method, let me show you, array.reduce JavaScript. This is the reduce. It has like the signature has different properties, like 4 of them, but you have the callback, then you have the accumulator, the current item, the index, I think it is, and the entire array. So you can check it, but the one that we're going to be using is only with the first 2 parameters, which is the accumulator and the core, current item. I love to call it core because it's current item. And then after all the scope, all the logic we're going to be using, the initial value. So since we're going to go from an array of items into an object, we will start it with an empty literal object. So that is our accumulator as soon as this reduced function or method starts. So let's go ahead, and what we used to do in the past, we can say, we go ahead and we check it. You know that you can check if an object has a property using the indexing, something like it, if you have this one. And what we're going to do is specific, what we want to use is the type, because we're going to be grouping all this inventory stuff, which is food in general, by type. So we will say, if we have this current item dot type, we're going to force it. So the first time would be vegetables, the second time would be fruit, the third time would be meat, and so on. If we have this one, I mean, if it is present or if it has been already declared in that accumulator, we're going to be doing something. If not, that means that it's the first time we see this new property. So what we're going to do, we're going to say, I started the other way, so it will be easier for you. When you don't find it, you will say, okay, so the first time for this specific type, go ahead and start a new array with the item included. So the item will be the first. So we're seeding that new category, we can say, or that new type with the current item. But if you have it, so if was already present there, you can say exactly more or less the same, but you will be pushing a new item to that existing array. We're going to be pushing the current item. So if exists, if we have vegetables, okay, now we have another one, boom, push it inside it. If you don't have it, it's the first time we said fruit, okay, start a new category called fruit with this item included. And of course, I always remember this after years and years using it, sometimes I totally forget to return the accumulator. You have to return it because you will be reusing it in the next iteration of the loop. And then you will see that we're going to be comparing just the logic, not how we show it in the console later on. So you will see we need at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lines of code to do so in the old way. Reducing, looping through, and boom, spitting out a new object with all the categories. But with the new object by, what we can do is const new way grouped is equals to object, because it's coming from the object class. Group by, you can see we have intelligence, and it's so cool that it has two parameters. One is the array itself, the collection of things we're using. So inventory. I don't know why it doesn't take the internal variables. Okay, inventory. And the second one is an object to pick from the object you have the selected or the given property which you like to group by. So it's as simple as, suppose if we have inventory, we can say item, so just to call some generic thing, or element or something like that. And we will say from the item, we will love to use the type property. It's similar to all the hard coding thing we were doing here. You can see here we're doing also hard coding, but just grabbing the property. You can imagine how easy it will be to generate a helper function to make it more dynamic. But with this in place, in just one single line of code, we will be doing the same. And let me show you later on the performance. And so less verbose, as I told you, it is. From 9 lines of code into one, how cool is that? And now let's see if the result is the same. So console.log, we're going to call the old way, and we're going to show all way grouped. Don't worry about the code and everything, because I will be adding this as the index file in that repository I showed at the beginning of the video. So you will have everything there. And also, if you want, you can fork it or make a pull request to add more comparisons, more ways to filter by or group by and compare with this one. That would be awesome. So I really encourage you to do so. New way and new way here. Let's see how it goes. We have the result here. It's like the console. We can save it, everything, and run it. If we don't have any errors, we should be getting in the terminal here. Can I move it or make it bigger? Or if you don't have it there, don't worry, because if you go using your tools in your console, I mean in your browser, let me see if I can move my face. I need to move my camera, sorry. Oh, there. Just to put it this below. And if we go to the console, okay, check, please check this one and let me make it bigger for you. Check this. The old way, even when it was really fast, blazing fast, it took 0.19 milliseconds. But the new way, less than half of the time, 0.007 milliseconds. So you can imagine this is just an array of 5 items. You can imagine if when you get from the database or from the backend with not million, but thousand of them, or million even million. So you can compare. It's less than half of the time. But let's check if we are consistent among the result. All we have fruit, 2 items, meat, 2 items, vegetables, 2 items. And what we have in the new? Exactly the same result. Fruit, 2 items, meat, 2 items, and vegetables, 1 item. And if we check it, asparagus, I love them. And it's exactly, so it's pushing and it's the same result, but coming from 9 lines into 1 and in less half of the time. Tell me how cool is that? Okay, guys, so I'm going to be pushing this code to the repo. You will see it as the index.js file. It could be TS, but I think it's just plain JavaScript, so we can go ahead with a simple JS file and pushing and put it on the description of the video below. If you like the video, please hit, I invite you to hit the like button. And if you really like it, subscribe, please subscribe it, because you will be notified every time I will be publishing new content like this or like many other things that I have in mind to be publishing, or even in the comments, if I get some requests, I will be pushing what the community wants to see. So have a good day and see you in the next video. Take care.